And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Atlanta Falcons and the Minnesota Vikings. That's fielded in the end zone. They'll run for the first time with Sony Michel. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it. So those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. They'll check this one down to Michel. Breaks through the contact. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. And this is a guy who last week not only helped his real team, but really helped a lot of fantasy teams. 3 trips to pay dirt. They've got to contain it.
And watching him play is like going to lunch with you when you order that combo plate, right? In this case, his combo plate is he can go over the top of you and catch it in front, turn it into a big game, run past you, and then uses his size and his physical abilities to keep you away from the football. Hard to defend this guy.
Reigning NFC Offensive Player of the Week. A give. This is Michel. And an alley to run. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
A nice performance last week. Recognized as NFC Player of the Week after going over 100 yards rushing. I just love the vision. I love the wiggle he has, but I also love the power when he ends his runs.
That's what impressed me. Yes, there was some elusiveness last week. A couple times he just ran over guys. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. On the handoff, it's Michel. And an alley to run. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for it. Here's Michel. And he's going to have a first down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. A first chance in the red zone for the Falcons now. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 17. From the gun, Bryant. Flush to his right. To Michelle on the dump off. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now 1st and goal.
I'm not sure that this play was designed for him specifically, but they got through the progressions and got the ball to him. So, second catch on the drive. He may not be a primary guy, but they definitely want him involved, don't they?
Absolutely. This early, the opening drive, as you said, 2 catches. So, if they can get him going in the passing game, that should open up. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Tevin Coleman, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Falcons take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down. At about the 23-yard line. And on the ground they go with a running back. Takes this to the 27. Give him 4 yards.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
They'll drop to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Charles, already trailing by a touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. They're going to look to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got one complete. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
Let's go! White 90! White 90! Heavy on the edges, heavy on the edges. Hot! Ohio! Ohio!
They go play action here on first down. And he just gets rid of it, throws it away. A wise move there, looked like nobody open, now second down.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
Alert three, alert three. Alert three. Flex round, flex round. Ohio, Ohio. Flex round, flex round.
On play action, they'll throw. Past the 20. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Phillips. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A really good pickup of 28 yards. First red zone chance now for the Vikings. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 15.
Ohio, 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 Ohio. Flex round, flex round.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Rosas good with the extra point. And we are tied at 7. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. This drive starts out on the ground with Michelle. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
On the ground, Michelle. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. And now we'll get a stoppage here. There appears to be an injured Falcon on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Here's Coleman on the toss. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
No. Check. Patriot. Patriot. No. Check. Patriot.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking.
Keeping it on the ground on first. Michel trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. The All-Pro Von Miller there on the tackle. Off play action. Bryant. And this is caught at the 8. That one goes for 24 yards. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And they'll turn to a power game to try to get in. And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. It's the fullback, his second touchdown on the season. And the Falcons are in for 6. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs, so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. He'll drop to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 40. And they will finally stop him, but a great return gets that football all the way down to the 16-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Now a pitch out to Michel. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, second down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Sony Michel, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. And out now come the Vikings. A tale of two extremes already in this game. A touchdown pass on their opening drive followed by an interception last time out.
Now, it sounds like things balance out, right? What's that mythological thing that we do? If you have a candy bar, have a diet soda with it, it balances it out. And we know that's not really true, right? Because the interception, that sting lingers a little bit longer. Got to come out now and put together some nice plays.
And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Ohio! 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 Ohio!
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. On the move to his left. Got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A good pickup there at 22. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. The safety, Keanu Neal, there to make the tackle.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Being chased out left. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down. The last drive, remember, similar situation. He forced a ball into coverage through the pick. He learned better there.
Yeah, similar to a golfer that's confronted with a shot that you just can't make. Sometimes you have to take your medicine, as they say, right? Just pull it down, take off, and go. Don't make something worse than what it was.
And a short gain here, down to the 22. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Looking to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Phillips. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
He'll look to throw. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. His 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are able to make this a close game again. PAT up and good by Rosas. And they're back within a touchdown at 21-14. Rosas now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
Throwing to start the drive. Bryant. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards on the play.
Watch it now, Barney, Barney. All right, now, lucky 56, lucky 56.
So 2 minutes to go in a wild first half. More from Minneapolis after this.
All right, now, lucky 56, lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56, lucky 56. Gun, 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 gun.
Now Michelle. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
All right, now, lucky 56, lucky 56.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. They'll run it now out of the gun. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
Leopard! Leopard! Gone! 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 52 to 5, boy. 52. Gone! 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 Gone!
Off the play fake. Bryant. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Watch him now, Barney! Barney! Watch him now, Barney! Barney! Gone! 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 Gone!
On first down, Bryant. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Watch him now, Barney! Barney! All right, now, lucky 56! Lucky 56!
They'll turn to Michel as they go back to the ground. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout, as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9.
No. Check. Patriot! Patriot!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Trying to pound it in here with Michel. And this will result in him losing yardage back to the 3. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
No. Check. Patriot! Patriot!
And they will run it with Michel. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. The field goal unit on the sideline. They're going to go with 1 second left. They'll try and sneak it here. And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. It's their quarterback as time expires in the first half. And the Falcons will extend their lead. And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards, as he'll get this only back to the 20. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
and I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive, and we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for him. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed, as that's going to move the chains.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Tack McKinley in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Phillips. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. Trying to get their tight end involved finally. That's the first time that they've looked his way. He's kind of been a forgotten man in this offensive scheme.
Yeah, it didn't look his way at all in the first half, and I'll bet you the offense coordinator made a note at the half and said, let's get him involved because he could be a big-time playmaker for us.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Eluding the pressure right. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 17. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Trey Burton, the one he was looking for. And now it's 2nd down.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him. They'll find him. Find him.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Watch him now, Barney.
They'll run it. This is Michelle. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
Well, he didn't make headway on that one, but he's had plenty of carries all night long. I just wonder if maybe he's a little bit tired from toting the rock that much.
The Falcons on 3rd down. A perfect 4 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Off play action. Bryant. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
No. Check. Patriot.
Now a first down carry. It's Michelle. Room to run past midfield. There he goes right side. And all the way down to the 5. A big-time run there by Sony Michel. 59 yards for him on the ground. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Operating from the gun. Bryant forced out to his left. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. It's their quarterback with his 14th touchdown of the year, second of the game. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. Oh, twisting away. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. And now out comes Minnesota. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Paul. And he takes this thing way down into Atlanta territory. It's a big one there for the Vikings. 54 yards. A real field flipper there, as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Now they'll run it on the toss. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Wasn't that long ago that the NFL guys really didn't adopt much from the college game. But one thing that has crept in there is spreading things out, opening things up, not even just in tempo, but maybe getting better line splits and spreading the field. I think that would be a great strategy right now to try and open things up in the run game.
Just a yard there, so it brings up a tough 3rd and 12.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. Ohio! 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 Ohio!
He'll look to throw. And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. Well, they went with the nickel. They throw in an extra defensive back. Coverage was very good.
Yeah, it was exactly as you would expect. A passing down. You bring in the nickel package. Just as you described, the coverage was excellent and allowed one of their linemen to end up getting to the quarterback.
So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days, offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, they got it for a touchdown last drive. Let's see what happens here.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
When you're a player of his stature, you don't just circle the games on your team's calendar. You
circle the Pro Bowl?
Without a doubt. That's a game that you just figure you're going to be in each and every year. That's because of catches like that. That's why he goes.
On the ground, this is Michel. Got a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And it's Michel once again. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Back to throw. Bryant. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Mike Hughes. Well, they needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the third quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
Back to throw. Rolling to his left. Ertz has it left side. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23.
Ohio!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a... From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Ohio!
Right back to him on 1st down. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. The safety Landon Collins there to make the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Nowhere to go downfield, but he's able to get out of bounds and stop the clock here with a 1st down.
Sometimes guys get locked into such a groove. What do we call it? The game slowing down. They see everything happening almost in slow motion. They see the lanes develop. I feel like he's right there.
Well, and you want this from your leader, right? With this deficit, this stage of the game, second half, no quit in him.
0.
They'll set up a throw. Sliding out of the pocket. And his throw here's incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. And they'll go on the ground. And he's over midfield and into Falcon territory. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
Here we go! Brand 38! Brand 38!
Now back to throw. Flushed out right. He may try and run for this. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. Nowhere to go downfield, but he's able to get out of bounds and stop the clock here with a 1st down.
Ohio!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. The attempt on the dive, and he has it. What a catch. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another 1st down.
Well, partner, when you ask anyone other than your QB to throw the ball, you must have a lot of confidence or you think you're really going to fake them out, and it looks like they did exactly that.
And going deep in the playbook and a great grab on the other end. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 10 more there and another 1st down.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up 1st downs.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield.
Let's go.
And they'll run it here. Able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable third down, because they had the incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Ohio! Ohio!
They'll look to throw. Steps away. He can run for it, and he will. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down. A field goal does you no good, so they're going to stay out there and go for it on 4th. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. So give him the first down. 1st and goal after a pickup of 4, and the decision to go for it pays off. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal. They'll look to throw here. Buying time to his left. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
They begin with Michel on the ground. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Back there, not Philly. Here we go.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Flush to his right. Throw right side, caught by Ridley. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Well, we knew he was close to the line of scrimmage, and they say he stepped over.
Well, when you see him in that position, you think he's become a runner. As a DB, you start to react towards the line of scrimmage. They can often throw it over your head.
So the illegal forward pass also costs him a down, and now it's 2nd and long. Off the play fake, Bryant. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
The Falcons on 3rd down. No problems to this point. A perfect 5 for 5. This is 3rd and 16. Off-play action. Bryant. And he will find Ridley on the left side. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing on 1st down. Bryant dancing to his left. It fights him off, but in the end, the pressure too great, and he goes down. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Looking to throw. Bryant under pressure again, and down he goes again. And quickly, we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively.
And it has been a good game for them. They haven't been pressured very much today, but on back-to-back sacks, maybe the defense is starting to figure something out.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long.
Detroit! Detroit!
From the gun, Bryant. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Fielded just inside the 30. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the Vikings will take over here first and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. They've got good starting field position as they come up here first and 10.
Let's go! White 90! White 90! Flex round! Flex round!
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Flex round! Flex round!
They'll set up to throw. On the crossing route, complete. It's Phillips. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down.
Flex round!
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. The safety, Keanu Neal, there to knock that one free.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
Ball on the 30 as they come up second and 10.
Come on, let's go! Grand 38! Grand 38!
Now he'll look to throw here on second and 10. He's going to let it fly. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. Rosas good with the extra point. And that'll make this now an 11-point deficit. So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And this is going to be covered up by the Falcons. And that should just about seal it. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. This is Michelle on the counter. And down inside the 40 to about the 38. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit! Detroit!
A lot of scoring. There's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not at a premium. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were, but it was fun, wasn't it? Because both teams finding ways to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So for the Falcons, their playoff chances take an uptick as they move to 7-4. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, it's a loss that could hurt them come playoff seeding time as they drop to 8-3. And they'll have a tough one at home next week against the Denver Broncos. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
Renegade, renegade, renegade,
They call a podcast Poppy. Kinkos, I see they tryna copy. Diamonds in the chains, bust down wrists. And you ain't never seen no like this. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. Like when it drop home, give me the chokehold.
I be out on a late night, opposite a play fight. See sign break night, this break night. My wrist watch is like a break light. And you can get it right on your gravesite. So tell me something I don't know. $50 pizza when I'm eating in Soho. I heard that you in love with the stuff in your in them. Hate me, they hate me. What should I do? Keep getting money. It's funny, I was just like you. Super Bowl Sunday. With the facts. Security guard told Kevin Hart to relax. Oh!
Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. Like when it drop home, gave me the chokehold. Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. Like when it drop home, gave me the chokehold.
I reinvented myself, they sorta hated it. I reinvented myself and upgraded it. Traded in the Jews, copped a couple new ones. Lost a couple friends and got a couple new ones. Upstairs and downstairs, the balcony. These oceanside views, the alchemy. Ain't nothing crazy like the city in the summertime. So when it's winter, I still be on my summer grind.
Handle your business, handle your business.
Loyal and honor, don't break the bro codes. The more red rose, max with the rose gold. Whoever counted me out, they can't count. Oh!
Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. Like when it drop home, gave me the chokehold. Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. Like when it drop home, gave me the chokehold. They call a podcast Poppy. Kinkos, I see they tryna copy. Diamonds in the chains, bust down wrists. And you ain't never seen no like this. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. Like when it drop home, gave me the chokehold. Chillax, 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 chillax. Chillax, 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 chillax. Chillax, 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 chillax. Chillax, 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 chillax.
Relax, 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 oh! Relax, 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 oh! Relax, 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 oh! Relax, 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 what?
Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. Like when it drop home, gave me the chokehold.